You're now listening to D&D live on demand.
What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Command, a D&D football podcast. Of course, as always, it's your man DH, and in the building once again, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Dee Middy. Dee Middy, what up, bro?
Feeling good, feeling great. How about you, my guy? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling amazing. We have a big Week 15 game coming up against the New York Giants. They're talking in the chat today. We have a big Week 15 matchup coming against the New York Football Giants on Sunday Night Football. Man, whoever the 2 weeks couldn't get here fast enough. I'm so excited to see us play. We're recording right now live on a Saturday where we just got finished watching the Minnesota Vikings come back from 33
down at half.
33 points to come back and beat the Minnesota Vikings in overtime. All right, to beat the Indianapolis Colts in overtime. Of course, I cashed that money line, baby. Big game. Big game by Minnesota being down by that much and coming back and playing. But absolutely. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about the Washington Commanders.
Yes, sir.
Who are 7-5-1 and looking to control their playoff life here down the stretch with 4 tough games. And literally you have to play your best to control your life to get into playoffs. Before we get into that,
to know every week.
Before we get into that, Dee Middy, I want to remind everyone that if you're here for this Week 15 edition, that means you're a fan of the show, and we appreciate you. So do us a favor to make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And if you feel so inclined to leave us a 5-star review, you can get your 5 seconds of fame. That's it. That's all. Dee Middy, let's get into it. The Commanders game versus the Giants is now on Sunday Night Football. The game has been flexed. Dee Middy, how do you feel about that, man? First of all,
man, they showing us respect, bro. They showing this division respect. So let me not be a homer real quick. I feel great about this game, man. You know how we've been chopping it up with the friends on Twitter and the social media. It feels like this team wants it, like they need it, like they feel like they feel that Tiffany trophy in their like it's close. And starting this week against those New York Football Giants, this Sunday night game is gonna be very important, man. And I can see FedEx Field shaking, not like old RFK, but just like FedEx of today. And I can see this defense, man, putting this offense and this team in great position to win, bro. That's how I feel going into this game, man.
Absolutely, man. Us having a Sunday night game in prime time, like you said, the league has been put on notice that we're primetime football and that we're playing so well that everyone needs to see us. We're going to be the only show in town Sunday night, 8:20 on NBC. The league is on notice that we're the game to watch. And after the Week 13 game, finishing in a tie ball game, a pretty close game, a tough game, you look at the slate of games where this game can really impact how two teams go towards the playoffs. And this could truly set the tone of if one goes in one direction and one goes in the other. As the Commanders fans, we believe that this is the game that can kind of set you apart, right? This game can kind of send you in an ascension towards the playoffs. And I think for the Giants, if the Giants, this will add to the Giants' misery as they tied with us and then lost in embarrassing fashion against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. I believe it was 48-22, 42-22, something like that.
Something of that nature. Yep, that's true.
And to now play us again, the team you just recently played, the Giants' backs are against the wall. So it's like, we'll see how the Giants perform and see how they come out. Dee Middy, let's first start with the game breakdown. This Sunday night, the Commanders are taking on the Giants. The Commanders have the 21st ranked offense going up against the 26th ranked defense, while the Giants' 23rd ranked offense is going against the 4th ranked Commanders defense. Offensive versus defensive matchups, Dee Middy. How do you feel this week going into this game?
I'm a matchup guy, man. If you've been listening, like my man DH said at the beginning, you're a fan and you understand that I love calling out matchups, man. And our D line versus their O line, I'm checking Commanders. Our DBs versus their receivers, getting hopefully at a game time decision and listed as questionable right now. As far as I know, I haven't checked the listing, but with BSJ being questionable, we get him back. Man, what if we get Chase back? Man, he's questionable right now. So game time decision, and they break that at like 4:00. That 99 is gonna be on the field. Oh, I'm telling you, man, I'm getting chills right now talking about it, dog. I just want to see this defense continue to put our offense in position, and a lot of guys have said it. So I'm taking out of your book, JP Finley. I'm taking out of your book. I've heard my guy Cash Out on Twitter say this. This is the game that Taylor Heineke may just go off. And Fred Smoot said he kind of teetered on John Con podcast, man. This might be the game. Taylor Heineke might be that balls to the wall. Heineke and give you 3 touchdowns, man, and dive for the power line, man. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You've been calling it. You've been calling it too.
Did he say like this? Hey, man, Taylor Heineke, this might be the game where Taylor Heineke plays well. He gonna be a quarterback now. He need to go out there and be a quarterback now.
That's Smoochadamas for you, boy. They right on the money.
So look, man, like I said, even last week with ESPN 630's Mike Callow, who joined us. Shout out to Mike. Make sure you're following that guy. Even with talking with Mike, we kind of alluded to the fact that there's going to have to be a game down this stretch where he has to be a quarterback, where he has to put his foot in the ground and throw for some touchdowns, throw for some positive yards, and not just manage the game. And I think that'll kind of determine the trajectory of where his career is going to go after this.
And what Washington looks like going down against these next opponents after New York. But let's start with this game is where we at with it.
And I'll say this, man, and y'all know I'm not a big Taylor Heineke fan. And we'll get back to the matchup here in a second. And I'm not a big Taylor Heineke fan, but I feel like for him, even if he's a team guy, but even selfishly, right? At some point, you want to be a quarterback, right? At some point, as a baseball player, as a pitcher, you want to strike a guy out. You want to have a perfect game at some point. As a golfer, you want to get that hole in one, or you want to get a nice eagle on a par 5. You know what I'm saying? You want to score 40 if you're on the basketball court. You want to have a night where you show that you the guy, right?
Yeah. And in hockey, you want to stand on your head. You know, as a goalie, you want to stand on your head a couple of nights, one night where you take over.
Or in hockey, you want to have a hat trick. You want to be able to go out there like Ovechkin and ball out. You know what I'm saying? So in every sport, you want to be the pinnacle, and you want to have those types of games. You want to have those statement games. And like I was saying, Heineke needs to have a statement game.
Yes.
For the sake of his career, because with his body of work, having basically playing a whole last season and then getting a lot of games this season, if he has 1 or 2 games where he looks like a quarterback that you can like trust the team with, I would not be surprised if they went back into next year with Heineke and Howe at the quarterback positions. I'm just saying he has the potential. And granted, I'm telling you, I don't like him like that. You know what I mean? I don't. But I'm just why
we've both expressed who we think should be at quarterback, and number 4 is not at the top of our list.
Exactly. But
to say it professionally. Exactly.
But I'm just being honest about his career trajectory at this point. If he comes in 2 out of these 4 games, he has 2 games where he looks like the guy. And I'm not saying he has to stand in there and just pass the ball, but if he just looks solid, you really have a question in the offseason about what you're going to do, because he would have had a great body of work down the stretch. And even as someone who doesn't like him that much, I couldn't deny that. Even I couldn't say that he didn't prove that he should be the guy going forward or could be the guy going forward. So I mean, I think for his sake, if he puts out some good games down the stretch, I think it can help him, and of course it can help the team. So I just feel like this will be the perfect week to shut up your haters. I'm looking in the camera right now. This will be the perfect week, Taylor Heineke, to shut me up. This will be the perfect week to give me no ammunition for the final 4 weeks of the season to mention your name, except that you're balling. I would love to say that, and I would love to get rid of my coined phrases that I use of valuing the football, of tailoring the offense for Taylor. Like, I would love to get rid of
the throw.
Yes, I would love, and I'm gonna do it again this week. I would love to not say throws. You know what I'm saying? I would love to not have to go through the extra work of editing myself with a piece of poop on my face and bleeping it out saying, oh, Terry's down there somewhere. No, I would love to not have to do that, right?
So what it sounds like to me, brother, you would like to have a full serving of crow served from Taylor Heineke. A full serving of a 50-piece sounds like.
Listen, I
What
would
kind of sauce? What kind of sauce?
listen. Oh, ranch. I'm a ranch guy. I would love to go down to Kentucky Fried Pigeon and order a 50-piece yard bird of Taylor Heineke crow, and I would enjoy eating it.
Every morsel. Every morsel.
Finger licking. I mean, to the crumbs, the gristles. I would love to eat crow on how I feel about Taylor Heineke, but he has to go out there and do it. So if he comes out this week and decides that against the 26th ranked Giants defense that he wants to have a game, then by all means, sir, go have a game.
Have a game. And do that by number 4. Please do that by taking those 3 or 4 yard runs when the pocket might break down. You know, control the pocket, manipulate the pocket to where move up if you see that throw and it's not Terry and it's probably De'Ami or Curtis or Jahan. Take that throw versus just targeting Terry. You know, that's what I'm asking you to do. If the defense is predicting you not to go to Terry, don't go to Terry. If the defense is giving you, hey, you can take these 3 yards up the middle, but you're gonna slide, take it.
I agree. And like you said, this is the game where you know, it's one of those the sayings where you either get off the pot, right? You either good or you're not. Like you either can play ball in this league or you can't. You either deserve to be a starter or you don't.
Not. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's figure it out. Let's go out there and play ball and shut everybody up and you play a game and you go to Ron and say, if you don't bring me back next year, you will rule the day that you let me go, and I'm gonna kill you every opportunity I get. I want to have those statement games by him.
There you go. And also, man, with this O-line, and speaking of Heineke, to me, it goes hand in hand. You know, you have Cosme, you know, in there. You have Lucas in there, and I believe Schwartz is back. And you got Turner and Norwell and Leno. So with that O-line, to me, I don't know how you felt about those particular guys going into the season, but if that's my starting O-line with Schwartz at center and Norwell and Turner at guards, and then you got, you know, Cosme, you got Cosme rotating with Turner, and then you have Leno and Lucas at your bookends, I'm okay. Now, Lucas can get beat. Lucas has shown that. Thibodeau did it the last time they played, and a couple of guys showed that, hey, they can get past Lucas, but Lucas, on certain downs and certain pass pros, he can hold his own. So yeah. I like that O-line.
And the thing about it is, right, is just play to play, right? Just play your best. And I think the design of the offensive game plan can help, right? So you see those guys getting pressure, you go away from them, or you get stuff that's quick to the edge. You don't have, 5 and 7 step drop passes where Taylor has to sit back there and make a decision. It's quick game, it's quick throws. And really, I think that only can help your quarterback that you don't feel as confident in. Because if you give him 1 or 2 reads and allow him just to make a decision and kind of react on offense, it makes it easier for you. When you got a guy and you sit back in the pocket and you got 5 reads and you got to read from, like that's just a lot of decision making. You take the decision out of his hands and put it in your hands of your skill players where you've been relatively healthy at pretty much the majority of the season with Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. And then, Terry, who's been the constant threat every year. Every year. Jahan.
Every game, every year. Most definitely, yeah.
And Curtis Samuel, who's playing well for us. You really have to put the game on your skill guys. And I think that's the best remedy for Taylor Heineke, to put it on his skill guys. And you're going against the 26th ranked defense, bro. The 26th ranked defense.
Right. So would you say this, bro? Would you say this? We're having those weapons. Would you say that is not only just the not the key matchup, but where we may be ahead of the Giants in stats and on paper, but that'll be the determining factor of this game. We're alluding to where we start the conversation with the offense needing to put up points, Taylor needing to have a game. So it's not going to be solely on the defense, because we see the defense will keep offenses from scoring. A lot of offenses from scoring 3 and 4 touchdowns. We just need Taylor to give us 3. Taylor, how about Taylor give us 2 passing and a rushing?
I take it. I take it. I think what the Giants defense has showed as of late is that they can get scored on, right?
Yeah.
And they can get scored on in bunches.
Early and often.
I'm not taking anything away from Philly because they're a pretty productive offensive team and they got a lot of threats and weapons. But the Giants defense has shown susceptible success. Yes, that's the right word.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll go with it. Let's try this. The Giants defense have proven to be weak when it comes to stopping
and suspect or sus, as some would say.
Sus, yes, they have not been able to stop him when they needed to. So I think I think offensively we'll have the matchup. But I think it's gonna lie on the defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our 4th ranked defense, who's shown that Daniel Jones just comes out like Michael Vick on us when he plays, and he has great games against us. You're the 4th ranked defense. You saw him 2 weeks ago. You know what you can do to stop him. He's not doing anything spectacular, right?
No.
He's not Michael Vick, for lack of better words. He's not Lamar Jackson.
He's not a top tier mobile quarterback, and he should not look like that against this front 7.
Exactly. I think we should be able to get to him and hit him early and often and let him know, man, that if you're gonna run the ball, we're gonna hit you. We're gonna treat you like a ball carrier.
There you go.
And if you get to him, he'll hand it off on them RPOs instead of running. And putting the spy like they did the second half and kind of trying to keep them under wraps. That's what you kind of need to do with this team, man. And because you know what they can do to beat you.
And with that being said, man, and this is when you do put some of the onus or the true onus on the defense. Make sure you don't allow him to have, I believe, last game, he had like 60 yards in the first half rushing.
Yeah, he had a lot of yards rushing. It was him and Saquon that accounted for everything.
They both was at like 60 or 50 at half in rushing, and Saquon understood. Jones, no. Let's condense those rushing yards from last game, and also going into the matchups. If our D line is getting home, and this is something once again, because I'm fresh off listening to Fred Smoot on John Con podcast. The way the DB should play with the D line that they have, and especially against these receivers that they have, eliminate some of those routes that they're going to run in certain offensive packages. Put Kendall, who may not be the best statistical man corner, but against these guys, he should be able to bump some of these guys and knock and limit their routes that they should run out of their offense.
The defense has been able to step up. And we were talking off air that we really want to see some turnovers, man. We really want to see the secondary get some turnovers because Daniel Jones has proven that sometimes he can make some errant passes. You know what I'm saying? And I think with pressure on him, he'll throw you some. And that's where your defense steps up. I mean, being the 4th ranked defense, I think we mentioned, we were talking on Twitter the other day, and we compared I compared the Commanders to the 49ers with their style of defense. The 49ers have the number 1 ranked defense right now, and we have the 4th rank. And somebody was like, I don't see, I think it was G Carmi said it. He said, I don't think they're the same. I said, well, they're only off by a couple points. I said, I think their roster construction is built the same. You know what I mean? They built inside out. You know what I mean? Especially on defense. You know what I mean? Similar skill type guys, and I think they're pretty solid. And I think we have a better defense than I think what people give us credit for.
True.
And that defense really came alive as of late and turned out to be fairly good. But this defense will have to step up and keep Daniel Jones in check this week.
And think about it. And the reason why us as fans we're saying this, why we're not that Washington defense not getting the respect they deserve, with they're starting people going out and letting go of guys like William Jackson III and bringing in Danny Johnson off the practice squad and a guy by the name of Wild Goose, and having Casey Toohill on the D line and having 3 named DNs, William Bradley King and James Smith Williams coming. And the bottle boys, the old bottles and bottles on the D line. I mean, this is why we're saying that they've been rotating these kind of guys and getting top tier performance.
And then you look at the prospect of Chase Young coming back. He's been practicing this week, looking fresh, looking prepared, and I think he's ready to get back in there. We've mentioned that adding him to this defense, former defensive rookie of the year, being a top draft pick, adding him into this defense in situational modes right now, I think is an added bonus. You can get him in on certain passing downs, you know, get him in to just give that the tackle a different look. Because we both play offensive line, right? The thing about it is, if you go against the same person for 5 to 6 plays,
Right.
you kind of got some of their tendencies. And playing offensive line, it's all offensive and defensive line is about tendencies. When I was
Exactly.
I played center majority of my career and defensive tackle, so I was right there near the ball. Playing center, you know how the D tackles are going to play you. You know how your guards next to you are going to block. You know when they're stepping. You know how they move. Change that up. Add somebody else in there. It's different. Sometimes it takes a few plays to get adjusted to. And if you flip it to the defensive side of the ball, as a defensive lineman, when you're rushing the quarterback and getting the backfield, you pick up on tendencies from the O lineman or how they set their feet, of what they do right before the snap, or if they have a tail on when you can get a jump on the ball. That all happens. So imagine going up against Sweat or going up against who's subbing in for Chase? Two Hill. Going up against those guys all game. And then a package comes in, somewhere late in the first quarter, maybe on the third or fourth drive of the game. And it's Chase Young. Younger, athletic, somebody who you kind of got adjusted to play. You haven't gotten adjusted to playing against. And he comes and does something different. So you got to set your feet different. Your move set is different. If even going from Two-Hill, if Two-Hill always pushes your outside shoulder and always trying to get upfield on the outside, you get susceptible to setting a certain way to prevent him from beating your outside shoulder. So it's the minute you think that he's going to hit your outside shoulder and comes your inside shoulder, seeing that is going to be tough. And granted, these guys are professionals. They're able to adjust and make and make changes on the fly. But bringing in a guy so dynamic like Chase Young in those situational settings could definitely prove to be an added bonus for the defense.
There you go. Most definitely, man. And I feel like just keeping it at that point, when you have a guy like James Smith-Williams who comes in and gives you a little bit of that chase factor that I've seen, where he can be fast or twitchy off the edge. What I mean by twitchy is like he got those quick first steps where he's throwing the tackle off balance, and then now he got Payne beside him or John Allen, who sees it and said, okay, let me push my guy further upfield this way. So when you have those things that happen on the field, it makes a difference. But if you got to Chase Young, some of those pass rushing and running plays might get sniffed out just a little bit faster due to his athleticism.
Now, Dee Middy, I'll ask you, going to the offensive side of the ball, the Commanders come in this week at a plus 4.5 points. They're looking for the Commanders to get this win. Do you think the offense can help them get the win outright and cover this spread? What would the offense have to do, in your opinion, to leave no doubt and take advantage of the Giants' defense?
Number one, continue to control the clock with the running game and allow that running game to open up the pass game with play action or run pass option, however you want to put it, and also putting up points by attacking those DBs. I won't say deep because we know where Taylor limits at, and that's pushing the ball downfield. But attacking those DBs and spreading that, opening that field up a little bit more with different route concepts, with not having kind of guys jumbled up on one side, and as I call like the ladders, the ladders on routes on each side, where you have like 3 routes on one side, spread them out. and be able to give Taylor a little something else to look at, because we know when he's behind that O line and they're being stood up by that D line, he can't see over them guys. So give him something different to look at.
I think this offense has to score every time they line up, every time they have a
Every
drive.
time. That's a lot.
Whether it's a touchdown, whether it's a
Morphin.
field goal, I need them to score.
But they need to score touchdowns because they
Oh.
tied because there was 2 instances on the first drive of the game, or at least in the first quarter, where they only put up 3 and they had the opportunity to put up 7. So you say going into this game, you got to put up 7.
And don't leave any points on the field, right?
Don't.
When there's clear opportunities to get some points, you got to take them and you got to get them, because that's what happened last time. We didn't get enough points, and you want to be able to get points every time you get on the field. So we'd like a touchdown, but if we can get a field goal in some situations, let's get it. Score every time you can.
And who would be your offensive player as an X factor? The one guy that you has been either been doing it consistently, or has to show up outside of who we discussed as far as the O-line, Taylor, and of course Terrence. Who outside of those guys?
I think it's twofold. I think with the run game with Gibby and Brian Robinson, I think that's how you slow down the pass rush, by being able to run consistently and run effectively. And then, like you say, you control the clock. Running the ball effectively in this game will do so much for you with for the final result, because you'll be able to control the clock. You'll be able to have the play action option there, and you'll be able to slow down the defense from getting to Taylor. You know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
Offensively, having a solid run game, which is what you've been doing anyway, you wear down on the defense and really attack them running. I think that'll be key for this team.
All right, and kind of going to the other side of the field, and we talked about our offense. We talked about their offense as far as Danny Dimes, DJ, Dane Jones with number 8, whatever you want to call him, having great games, or good games for that matter, against this Washington team. Who is the other guy outside of the norm that we would have to stop in order to keep them out of the end zone, in order to keep them from scoring 20 points or less?
I'll say this: Daniel Jones was able to make some plays with his feet last week.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the run game, but in the passing game, extending plays and receivers staying open.
Yeah.
So I think our defensive secondary has to cover all the way through the play.
Yeah.
And it'll be twofold. I think we have to continue to pressure Daniel Jones to not allow him to extend plays and find guys open on the sidelines, or find guys on the in the middle of the field, because you've extended plays. I think you have to, when you get your hands on him, you got to tackle him. Okay,
Sure.
You got to affect the game, and you got to cover him, cover the receivers all the way through the play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So for me, my guy, I feel like, is someone I've noticed in the last game and with this Giants offense, is Bellinger. For some reason, Washington defense, regardless if it's Manusky, Joe Barry, whoever, now Jack Del Rio being the DC defensive coordinator have had issues with certain tight ends. So Daniel Bellinger is somebody I feel like Washington keeps him out of the end zone. Cam Curl, Derek Forrest, Jamin Davis, what have you. We can go on down the line of the linebackers and safeties that are going to possibly be on this guy. Keep him from having a game. And I feel like that will also help this Washington team win this game by Xing him out.
I agree. And side note, we're watching the Cleveland-Baltimore game. Deshaun Watson looks bad, bro. I don't know how many games it's going to take him to get his stuff together.
Right. That's where I was going to go with it. It hasn't yet, because think about it. You missed 11 games, and
didn't play none last year.
And he didn't have any practice with this team. This is basically something new. This is something new for him, man. And
it's set up your season, bro.
And I feel, and you know what I would hate? For him to get the clicking against us in 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's hope he's still looking like how he looks tonight.
Exactly. So let's hope that this is not a warm up for them trying to ruin our playoff contention going into week 17. So yeah, let's hope that this is the Deshaun we're gonna get the next few weeks. You know what I mean? Hey man, collect your money, have fun, stay healthy. But let's not get it going against these playoff teams that you playing against, brother.
Right.
I'm telling you. And then that team, man, that team, man, can be scary if they actually get it clicking as a whole, man. You got Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper and Njoku.
I ain't worried about him. It's like, nah. It's time for our favorite segment every week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Let's get wild. Dee Middy.
Yes, sir.
We got another matchup against the Giants this week, brother, coming up. Dee Middy, get wild.
Hey, listen to me clearly. I'm gonna put on my macho man Randy Savage with yeah. You know what I need this week, man? My guy DH, you know what I need this week, man? I need that D-line. Just a little bit more sacks to open up them DBs, for them DBs to get some picks, man. Put in that quarterback Daniel Jones to the ground, brother.
All right, I gotta do my Hogan then.
Got you. Come with it.
Well, you know something, Dee Middy, man. These guys, man, they've been hanging, they've been banging, man. They've been teetering and tottering right around where you need to be, man. But it's time that this week they hit the gym with the Hulkster, brother, and they get these 24-inch pythons, man. And they're going to score 24 points this week against the Giants, man. It's going to be 24-14, and they're going to, and the largest arms in the world. You know, here, I got to do it again. What you going to do, man?
Oh, yeah.
The Washington Commanders beat up on the New York Giants. That was bad.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
what you going to do, man?
I've been waiting to pull out that macho man, Randy Savage. Yeah. Hey, that was my guy, man. Hey, that man, if you didn't get hyped listening to Macho Man, I don't know what were you doing.
No, Macho Man can like literally like you could say any. Where's something I can read? Hold on. And Macho Man be like, yeah, our records indicate that you haven't contacted us for the coverage that's activated. This notice is to inform you that your BMW is in need of coverage. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, it's just something about that raspiness in the voice, man. It's something that grabs you every time.
Everything sounds so intense. Yeah, it's just kind of important.
Yeah. I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you.
Y'all, at the end of the day, the Commanders have to get a win.
Need it. Them boys want it. They want it.
Dee Middy, let's get this week's final thoughts on what the Commanders need to do to leave this Week 15 matchup with the dub and in the proverbial driver's seat for their playoff lives.
3 key things. Outside of coaching, let me just start with coaching. Let me just start with the coaching. Out scheme Dable, out scheme Wink Martindale. That's the one that I want Scott Turner and I want Del Rio on their A games. Out scheme those guys. 2, get right on special teams too, man. We need some positive games, not those rinky dink basic 5 and 10 yard clips. We need something from you on special teams this week. Key 2. And key 3, we need that offense to put up 3 legitimate touchdowns.
I like it. I love it. Can't get enough of it. Listen, man, my final thoughts for this week and my keys to this week's victory, man. I think the Commanders need to do, and I'll give you 3 keys. I think, first of all, Taylor Heinicke needs to have a day. Taylor Heinicke needs to come in here and leave no doubt that he is the quarterback of this franchise and kind of put some doubt in the mind of everyone else who believes he can't be the quarterback going forward, right? He needs to come out and have a day. Secondly, I think our defense needs to shut out the Giants, okay? Not just for score purposes. I think they need to let the Giants know and let the league know that you have been put on notice that they are one of the best defenses in this league, and this kind of football travels. So I think they need to come and not necessarily shut out in points, but just shut them down, not allow him to have the day that he's always had against us. And like you said, for my third point, special teams. I want some plays on special teams. I don't want special teams to be the play where we're kicking the ball. Okay, so we turn it. No, I want those guys to be running down there, getting some stops, making some big hits, causing some plays. You saw how important special teams was in today's game against Minnesota and the Colts. Against the Vikings and the Colts. You saw how important special teams was. They got a block early. You just want to affect the game as best as you can, whether it's getting a field goal block, whether it's getting a punt block, a big return, a kickoff return, a punt return, something. You want the special teams to be able to impact the game. I think if you do all those things that Dee Middy and myself mentioned, you will have a day. Even if you don't do all those things, if you do some of those things and really inflict your will and impose your will on the Giants, I think you give yourself the confidence to finish the season on a high note and to give the team the confidence to know that they can beat anybody and they can go and really make a run, because once you get in the playoffs, it's a whole different animal. It's a 14 team dance, and you just never know how a Sunday can shake out for you. You might just get put in a position to win. So you just want to get there, play your best football, and let the rest take care of itself.
And be healthy, especially with this team with the end of the year, last 5 game, a bye week, to get guys that were either gimping into the game or gimping them out of the game, to get those guys a week off to be healthy and then go against the division rival. I'm not saying this is picture perfect. I'm saying the Washington Commanders can make this a thing. They can make this last 4 or 5 game run a thing. Clipping off the Giants, as you should have when you started off against them in the first quarter, the first half of the last game in week 13, when you had them. Now you going into this week 15 game, and you got the ability to put your foot on their neck, to kick them out of your house before they even step in the door, before they even get through the door, right at the threshold. Just put foot to chest, get out of here.
And with that point, Dee Middy, we can ready to come to a close. But I want to let you know that game Sunday night is going to dictate how my week is going to go. Because Monday, I'm going to be tired regardless. But
Absolutely.
I'm walking with a little bit of pep in my step if we get a win. It'll make staying up late the night before worth it. Because y'all don't know, with this new job, I get up 4 every morning. And I get up 4 every morning and I travel, go to work. When I come home, I work out after I get to work. And then, I'm in the bed early, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
But that Monday will be a little easier if they go and impose their will on the Giants. I'll be able to, that cup of coffee tastes a little bit better. That breakfast sandwich just fill you up a little bit more. Those conversations, are just a little bit better, knowing that you got 8 wins in the can and headed down the home stretch to the playoffs. So I think the Commanders can do themselves and the fans a favor by going there and leaving no doubt that they are the team to beat going into these playoffs.
And ending the season, finishing this week with a storyline of Ron Rivera winning more games than he did in the past 2 years before season's end, and able to win double-digit wins.
You get this dub, Dee Middy, and I'm going to tell you what, the team is going to be tough to beat. The team is going to be motivated. I can only imagine the emotion from the guys knowing that they have a chance, and they will believe in themselves, knowing that they can overcome adversity and play guys. And I won't be, and I'm not scared to play anybody going forward. I think we'll have some tough games, but I'm not scared to play anybody.
No.
And you got to get this game, frankly, because your next one is going to be very tough against the 49ers. And of course, we'll be back next week to break down that game in its entirety. May have a special guest or two joining us. We've been working. Trust me. You saw how it was last week with Mike Callow. We may have somebody that you really know and that you really respect on the program. But until then, guys,
Stay tuned.
yes, indeed. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend. Leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. And Dee Middy, and on behalf of Dee Middy and myself, left hand up. Who are we?
The Commanders.
Yes, indeed. Breaking Command, D&D Football Podcast. Catch you on the next one. Peace. Like Mike said, are you recording?
That was crazy last week, bro.
Bro, that joint was right on time because, like, I definitely wasn't recording
At all. We was just going too.
And bro, just imagine doing a whole like hour-long episode, having a great convo, just talking and everything.
And recorded. Good content too. Good content.
And I think I waited like an hour before I texted him. I was like, you know what? You ain't gonna. Nah, you know when somebody hit you with the man, you ain't gonna believe this.
You ain't gonna believe this.
It's some BS, bro. You already know it's some BS.
SMH is the reply.
Bro, you ain't gonna believe it, dog. Don't even tell me. I don't want to hear it. What you do, young? What you do? Man, I wasn't recording, dog. Oh, oh, man.
Yo, could you imagine? We had like a guest like Chris Thompson or Fred Smoot, and we just going like just talking, chopping it up, going through
Come
the
on, man. Listen, man. Listen, Russell Wilson proved not to be the guy that was gonna take the team to the promised land, and we just talking and having a good old time, and then that joint go off.
I ain't gonna lie. I will be pissed. It would be dope to have that one-on-one with Fred like that, but I'd be pissed that we did not have that recorded in the vault.
Bro, like I'm trying to think how I even had a conversation. Hey, yo, Dee Middy, but no, I might try BS first. You like, what's going on with the video? You know, like in the 3 days, dog. Man, something wrong with my system, bro. That just something wrong. Man, that ain't acting right, bro. Come on, dog. It's too many weeks in the season for the joint.
Hey, look, here go the conversation. Hey, yo, man, I was trying to get that video out real quick, man. You gonna send
the link? Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. You give me a few minutes.
What's going on with that link, my guy?
Boy, that link is in the ether, bro. It's just in the air. Don't exist.
It hit 513 before it got past 1.
Because then it's like you get to a point when you realize that it's not recording. It's like, all right, what do I do now? You're having a good conversation, the vibe is going. You like, should I just shut everything down? Like, it's not working. No, you know, I had to turn my computer off. What happened, man? It just went out.
Look, unplug it like this.